This is 5 Live Sport.
Players almost on their way out here. A huge noise at a packed White Hart Lane for one of the games I've certainly been looking forward to all season. It's got to be attacking, it's got to be entertaining with these two thrill-seeking sides, Tottenham against Man United. Before we hand over to our commentary team as the teams come out, let's go over to what I presume is a very excited Irishman, Conor McNamara, watching possibly history in the making, Conor.
Well, it's not very often that Ireland come to Paris and win a game of rugby, but they're leading here 17 points to 9 in the second half. Morgan Parra has scored the only points of the second period so far with a penalty, but the French still more than a converted try behind here. Tommy Bowe continuing his fantastic scoring record in this year's championship. 2 tries against Wales, 2 tries against Italy. He scored 2 tries against the French here in the first half, and Ireland still lead in Paris. France 9, Ireland 17.
Want to hear it? It's on Sports Extra. If you want to see it, it's on BBC Television. For Rugby League, we'll get updates on Wigan Catalan from Dave Woods.
Well, Wigan have just taken the lead. Jack Hughes, their young centre, 9 minutes into the second half. Great offload by Chris Hewson from the tackle, and Hughes on hand to plunge over. Kick to come. Wigan 14, Catalan 12.
OK, we've had some exciting football already today. 1-1 it finished between Newcastle and Sunderland. 5-0. Fulham thrashed Wolves there into the bottom 3. West Ham 4 points now ahead of Reading. 2-0 winners at Cardiff today, and possibly history in the making for Ireland in France. We'll keep you up to date with everything that happens, but let's hand over to our commentary team here at White Hart Lane. For Tottenham against Manchester United, it's third against second. Alan Green, Graham Taylor, and first Mike Ingham.
Thank you, and it was a very interesting final point that Mark Bowen made to us just a few moments ago, talking about man management, because we have here two sides, Tottenham and Manchester United, who have brilliant man management, of course, Harry Redknapp and Sir Alex Ferguson, and the contrast maybe between Sir Alex Ferguson and Andre Villas-Boas is that Sir Alex Ferguson from time to time, of course, has had to sit down and talk to people like Ryan Giggs about what games he's going to play. You just wonder how many of those conversations took place between Andre Villas-Boas and people like Frank Lampard. But all that's history, of course, now. He's gone. Harry Redknapp, Sir Alex Ferguson, never wasting an opportunity to plant a few psychological seeds. Graham says, this is probably the last time we'll meet in the league. You know, he's already got in the England job.
Yeah, well, that is Alex, and we're actually laughing and smiling about it. Believe me, Harry will as well. I don't think Harry will fall for that.
No, let me give you the lineups. And sadly for Spurs, Gareth Bale went down with a virus overnight, so he's out of the lineup. And he's a terrific player, but it also might mean that Modric has to play slightly out of position today. The Tottenham lineup showing 3 changes from the 5-2 defeat at Arsenal. Friedel in goal, same back 4 of Walker, Kabul, King and Asuakoto. Then it's Lennon, Livermore, Sandro and Modric. And then the former Manchester United striker Sahar alongside Adebayor. Now for Manchester United there are 2 changes. The return of Rooney for Hernandez, and Young starts in place of Giggs. So the United lineup is De Gea, Jones, Ferdinand, Evans and Evra. Across the midfield, Nani, Carrick, Scholes and Young, Rooney and Welbeck. And we're going to go to Conor McNamara in France. Conor.
And a try for France. France 14, Ireland 17. Wesley Fofana, who scored against Italy, got another against Scotland last weekend and has scored a thrilling try into the corner here in Paris and has its 3 points in it now. France 14, Ireland 17.
Thank you very much indeed, Conor. Graham, Sir Alex Ferguson's press conference, I think it was on Friday, he says that the Manchester derby coming up at the end of April potentially could be a title decider, but until then he regards this fixture today as his hardest on paper.
Well, on paper it certainly is. You can't do anything else but agree with that. The situation is that when you look at the other fixtures that Manchester United have, if they deal with this one and come out victorious, you have to say that on paper, and we know that nothing's won or lost on paper, Manchester United have a very, very good run in.
Well, Manchester United will get us underway, playing from left to right. Rooney and Welbeck there. Martin Atkinson, the referee, who Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't pleased with at Chelsea a year ago, and in fact this is the first time he's taken charge of a Manchester United game since then. So the atmosphere gradually builds around here at White Hart Lane. I don't know where this freezing cold weather has come from. It's been an appalling morning in London, heavy rain, and away we go. And it's usually one of the highlight fixtures of the season, Tottenham against Manchester United, and it's the former Spurs player Carrick finding Jones, and Carrick has really come into his own in recent weeks since Paul Scholes came back to link things together in midfield for Manchester United. Ashley Young, the ball eventually coming onto the ground for him, finds Welbeck. Typical movement from Welbeck over on the left. Scholes now thought about a pass to this near side, cushions the ball back to Ferdinand, and Tottenham haven't had the ball yet. Carrick onto Nani. Nani's lost it. Modric is playing on the left, which is really not his preferred position, and now Spurs looking to put together something with their captain at the back, Ledley King. So we're underway on 5 Live. Tottenham against Manchester United. Ball towards Lennon, doesn't find him over on the far side. Everest header away. Kabul now is going to try and tidy up by the corner flag and plays the ball off Welbeck, and it'll be a throw.
Early start, isn't it, in terms of Manchester United having a lot of possession, just making their mark really and saying the ball is ours. You're going to have to work hard to get it back, but very early start to the game.
They have this great record, of course, Manchester United against Spurs. 2001, the last time they lost to Tottenham, and now it's Rio Ferdinand taking that was a good confident start this by Manchester United. They've already got into a rhythm here as Rooney finds Carrick inside the centre circle. Carrick now to this near side for Nani. Modric is having to come back to help his left back. Nani back to Carrick. Tottenham really struggling to get hold of the ball at the moment as Carrick finds Scholes in central midfield. Scholes into Welbeck. Welbeck turning away from Sandro. Welbeck now for Phil Jones, whose first touch was poor. Then he came clattering in on Asu Okoto, and he's gone down, and so too has Asu Okoto. The game hasn't stopped though, and concentration elsewhere. It's Kyle Walker on the ball on the halfway line. Jones has come off the worst. Lennon now with a chance to run at Evra for the first time. Lennon for Tottenham hits Evra, and it's going to be a Tottenham throw as Jones makes his way slowly back into the United half. It's going to be a Spurs throw in over on the far side. Bringing Graham in a moment on that collision as Walker's throw bounces awkwardly for Adebayor, and it didn't go out of play as Scholes feeds Carrick on the edge of the penalty area. Now a lovely ball to Nani, this time a better first touch from Nani. Nani for Jones. Jones back again to Nani. Modric comes across and does well.
Well, both players are running okay now, no problem. I thought that Jones was responsible for bringing the knock on himself because he really did lunge in there and was somewhat fortunate not to have a foul given against him.
Chris Smalling, by the way, who got that head injury playing for England, isn't involved at all today for Manchester United, who've got, of course, a Europa League game later in the week against Athletic Bilbao. And now it's Johnny Evans. Evans playing on the right-hand side of Ferdinand, I notice. Don't often see Ferdinand in that position on the left of the defence. Now the ball played into Welbeck. Welbeck slides away from King, and he'll give King a few problems, I think, down there today. Perfect playing conditions in terms of surface now as Rooney touches the ball to Nani, and it's Ashley Young's opportunity. Ashley Young now to Nani. Nani's ball in towards Kabul, and Kabul will bring it out now in a measured way for Spurs, and then strikes the ball long towards Louis Saha. In goes Jones, and it's out of play for a Tottenham throw-in. They might miss Bale, Graham, don't you think? And with Modric playing on the left.
Yeah, I think you're bound to miss Bale. His tremendous run, his pace on the ball, with or without the ball, is something that you're going to miss, irrespective of which team he's playing for. But it is a miss for that Tottenham would not have wanted. Harry certainly would not have wanted this to happen for this game.
5 Live, Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Still a lot of rain in the air here in North London, and it's Adebayor now for Spurs. Spurs just one home defeat, a thrashing by Manchester City. Manchester United just one away defeat at Newcastle. This is better from Spurs now, and Livermore finds Walker over on the right hand side. Lennon wants the ball, but it goes infield instead, and it's good play from Louis Saha. Saha inside the Manchester United penalty area. Shot is charged down. It may come out to Modric. Modric plants the ball. There's an appeal for offside there, but it's not given. Shot is driven in weakly by Saha, straight at De Gea, who gets his first touch in United's goal.
Yeah, Saha earlier on was very lively, and when it came back to him, wasn't given offside. I think we all expected a stronger shot at goal. Wasn't able to get hold of the ball.
You're listening to 5 Live. Graham Taylor's with us. 0-0 here at White Hart Lane as the ball travels through to Friedel in the Tottenham goal away to our right. Friedel made his Spurs debut at Old Trafford in the 3-0 defeat earlier in the season. Someone's just told Alan Green a joke as United now build once more in centre circle. The chuckles were his. He will join you in about 18 minutes and it's 0-0, and already a good game of football is developing in front of us. Scholes to Jones, who's inside the Spurs half. Manchester United playing from left to right, keeping the ball, moving it around well. Ferdinand now to Scholes, ever available. He really has given this United season some momentum, Scholes. Lovely ball from Scholes to Welbeck. Welbeck's running forward here from Manchester United. Skips around a couple of challenges, and then it's a poor finish in the end, which won't have impressed Rooney, because Rooney was making himself available, and Welbeck hits the ball into the crowd. Right, back to Paris again, and Conor McNamara.
Ireland have only beaten France in Paris once since 1972, and despite leading at half-time, they've been clawed back here. It's France 17, Ireland 17. The latest penalty from Morgan Parra from the 10-metre line, straight between the posts, level pegging. France 17, Ireland 17.
Thank you very much indeed. 5 minutes gone, 6 minutes gone in the first half, and it's going to be a real pleasure to sit here and particularly watch Paul Scholes, I think, in midfield, doing his stuff for Manchester United, knitting things together. Tottenham now coming forward with Sandro, who played for Brazil in midweek against Bosnia. Finds Asu Okoto, gets the ball back Sandro to Livermore. Tottenham just trying to get a feel of things here. Walker inside the Manchester United half. Square ball to Livermore. Good ball from Livermore, and a shot driven in from Adebayor is too high. But that's probably Spurs' best spell.
Yeah, certainly. They move the ball about very well. In fact, both teams are doing that. They're moving the ball about sharply, they're moving it about at one touch and two touch, and it has the makings of a very good game.
It's amazing with Scholes, isn't it, Graham, because he came back and there was some debate about it, and he nudged his way back, didn't he, gently, a few substitute appearances. Here he is now commanding central midfield in a big game like this.
I think he realised that he'd retired too early, and he comes in, and we all know the ability that Paul Scholes has to actually dominate games and read games. It's excellent.
Wonder whether Harry Redknapp might try and see him at the end of the game. Fancy England, Paul, as Spurs clear. Kabul, big high ball into the Manchester United half. Ferdinand is there, and Ferdinand will also hope that if Redknapp's the manager, he might get a chance with England this summer. He's never played in a European Championship. Scholes now, good ball for Rooney, who's made a quietish start. Hasn't seen much of the ball yet, Rooney. Scholes again on the halfway line, drifts it across to Nani. Nani's flicked back to Jones. Mainly Manchester United possession so far, but a sort of wasteful finish in the end from Danny Welbeck for them. Ferdinand now into Rooney. United passing it around well. Asu Okoto now will tidy up the Spurs, and Friedel's clearance is not great. He scuffs it towards the halfway line, doesn't reach it. Jones has the ball stolen away from him by Modric, and then a ball from Ferdinand to Scholes was short, and Sandro came in there and really meant to get that, made himself, and Scholes would have just turned around and looked at his number, I think, and the next time the ball goes anywhere near those two, it could be quite interesting.
Yeah, referee just had a word with Sandro as he came past him. He's fortunate not to get a yellow card for that, but he's had a word, but I would think that's marked, wouldn't you?
I think he's probably clocked number 30 anyway. The ball is with Friedel now for Tottenham. 8 minutes gone here, 0-0. Flatter clearance this time, and it's going to travel on straight down the other end of the ground to De Gea, who of course has had uncertain times in United's goal, but really played well at Norwich last week in the victory. The game won by Ryan Giggs on his 900th performance, and De Gea clears towards Nani. Nani controls it well. Asu Okoto didn't make a challenge. Nani going away from Modric. Now Asu Okoto, he should have got that away. Nani now, back to Rooney. Rooney's shot is straight at Friedel. And Asu Okoto really should have been tighter there on the winger, as Spurs now try to go forward, and here comes the pace of Aaron Lennon, thrilling run from Lennon from halfway line. In comes a challenge in the nick of time from Evans, and it was brilliantly timed by the defender as well. And there's a thrilling bit of action now as Manchester United go forward. Carrick on the edge of the centre circle, onto Scholes. Scholes now finds Rooney. Rooney, this is really good football from both sides. Evra now to Welbeck. There's a lovely feel about the game, lovely movement early on, as Rooney finds Carrick. Carrick's though giving it away, and Livermore tidies up for Spurs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. You know, it is a good game to watch, as I say, both sides moving the ball about so well and so quickly.
Now it's Walker finding space down the right-hand side, and that's wasted by him. I think there was a slight breakdown in communication there on the right. I think Walker expected somebody to make the move for him, and it's gone back to the man in yellow shirt billowing in the wind here, and it's De Gea in the Manchester United goal. He clears, he seems to be clearing towards Nani every time. Asuakoto's having early problems here against Nani, and then Nani kicked out a little petulantly, and it's going to be a free kick to Tottenham just down below. Right, here's Dave Woods again at Wigan.
Wigan 22, Catalan 12. Josh Charnley's trying the 53rd minute, has given Wigan a little bit of breathing space here. Richards with a conversion from the touchline. You sense there's more to come from Catalan though. Wigan 22, Catalan 12.
Thanks, Dave. Earlier today in the Premier League we had a huge win for Fulham, 5-0 against Wolves. 1-1 in the end between Newcastle and Sunderland. Sunderland were leading in that game 1-0, and then of course West Ham won at Cardiff in the Championship 2-0. Carrick now for Scholes, these two knitting together in central midfield, and now it's Welbeck, and he's got some freedom here. Welbeck, Young to the left, Rooney to the right. Welbeck finds Ashley Young. Young poised on the ball. Young still for Manchester United, hasn't got the ball into the penalty area. Scholes now finding Carrick on his right hand side. United need to try and stay on side here. Scholes, foot on the ball, in goes Sandro once more. This time Scholes whips it away from Sandro, and Manchester United look to Young. Young for Welbeck. Welbeck, who has this lovely movement, getting himself away from his markers. And now Johnny Evans, who did well a few moments ago, finds Jones just inside the Tottenham half. Jones gives the ball away. That's poor from Jones. And now Tottenham look to their main man, Luka Modric, of course, who's much admired by Manchester United. Tottenham building inside the centre circle, and Walker, who's such a great outlet for them over on the right, feeds the ball back into Livermore. Livermore to Lennon. Lennon's really up for the occasion today. Holds it and then gives it back to Walker. Now it comes to Ledley King just on the halfway line. King finding Asuakoto, back again to Modric. Tottenham building here patiently. Modric square to Livermore. There's no progression here, it's all sideways stuff, and it's gone even further back now to Kabul. But Tottenham finding it difficult here to find an opening. Manchester United got everybody back. There's now Kabul, who's keeping Dawson out of the starting lineup, finds Ledley King. 12 minutes gone in the first half. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Asuakoto from inside the Manchester United half gives the ball back to Brad Friedel, and Spurs set off again from the back.
Yeah, both teams playing a 4-4-2 formation, and they can counteract one another unless there is movement. And when Tottenham had the ball there was no movement from their front players, so they could do little else but to keep the ball.
Modric made a mistake, and Manchester United have the ball again. And Johnny Evans, who's done pretty well really in the absence of Vidic, is there for United, and De Gea clears. Again, once more towards Nani. That seems to be the policy. The ball to Nani every time in the air. Sandro now for Livermore, and Livermore to Walker. Walker into Lennon, and in came the challenge from Evra, and it was just enough to... Oh, but United make a mistake, and it's Louis Saha now for Tottenham. Rolls the ball away from Modric, but he's got it now on the edge of the penalty area. Modric just, tackle well by Jones. Comes back again to Asuakoto. Some of the crowd wanted him to shoot. Sandro finds Walker down the right. Kyle Walker for Tottenham Hotspur, finding Sandro once more. And they go back to the halfway line because the marking's really tight from Manchester United. Now Modric again, chance to take on Jones. Allowed to turn with the ball. Modric back to Asuakoto. Back again to Modric. And now Livermore. Tottenham trying to prize an opening here. Inside the centre circle. It's Kyle Walker again as the wind blows around us here. Walker down the right-hand side. Infield to Sandro's, almost lost that to Paul Scholes, and Tottenham find themselves back inside the centre circle. Modric, and they're having to be forced back all the time. United are pressing well and marking well. High one now to Walker over on the far side. Header down to Lennon, and in goes Evra. And it's good marking up here by United.
It is, but I just repeat once again, Adebayor, Saha not coming off their two centre-backs, dropping like Welbeck does for Manchester United, and that means that everything is stationary. Then you'll be able to pick up your immediate marker so easily, which Manchester United have been doing.
Out goes Harry Redknapp, and of course not only is Bale missing, but Van der Vaart's not involved either again today, and that's the way that Harry Redknapp normally likes to play. He normally likes to have Van der Vaart in behind Adebayor. Long one now looking for Louis Saha, and Evans clears over his shoulder. But for the most part, that's the way that Harry Redknapp's been playing, getting Van der Vaart in that little hole behind the main striker. Doesn't often play two up, and that's what's happening today. And as Graham's been saying, maybe the movement hasn't been the greatest so far from these two leaders of the line. Throw into Spurs. Just starting to get a bit more of the ball though. Modric steps over it, and it's gone into midfield. Spurs play from right to left. Livermore to Walker. Walker, who missed the England game, of course, in midweek, having got the injury against Arsenal last week. Now here comes Lennon, flying down the right. Interesting ball into Adebayor, but it was well read by Ferdinand, and it's gone out of play to the far side.
Yeah, Tottenham having quite a bit of possession of the ball, but not able to penetrate as well as possibly Manchester United have done. But still a very, very interesting game as to which way is this going to go.
Rain still slants down from grey skies here at White Hart Lane. Bitterly cold wind as well here at White Hart Lane, even though we're now in March, and Tottenham are starting to creep into this game. 0-0. Ball is with Livermore. That's a good one from him. Modric trying to turn away from Evans. Chance maybe for Adebayor. No, United are there to close the door. Ball is played back. There's no pressure on the goalkeeper, surprisingly, as De Gea is allowed to clear. And Manchester United now look to Scholes. Scholes this time towards Carrick. Should have found him and didn't. And Modric now goes forward with interest here. Luka Modric starting to get a bit more involved. Modric, that's a lovely ball to Sahar. Sahar's shot, and it's an easy save. But Modric is starting to become more influential in the game.
He's a very good player, irrespective of where he plays, and I don't think he'll stay out wide on the left all of the time. And when he starts to move and come in from that position, he gives Manchester United problems.
Now it's Asu Okoto tidying up for Spurs, down below on the left-hand side. And that's not a bad ball either. Adebayor doesn't control it though, and the crowd are not happy with that. That was a straightforward bit of control really for him, and he wasn't able to make it. And Manchester United now, that's better from Asu Okoto this time. Very firmly in on Nani. And here goes Asu Okoto down the Tottenham Hotspur left. Bends the ball into near the keeper. And Sahar holds his head. And they really needed better from Asu Okoto in the end, as United clear, and Welbeck hasn't controlled that over on the far side. And they're not getting as much of the ball now, Manchester United.
No, Tottenham are certainly keeping it. But I do believe, as I said earlier, when Modric starts to move, it really does help Tottenham.
And it's Sir Alex Ferguson's turn now to stand in his area. And it's always a sign that things aren't going exactly the way that he would want them to. They came out, I thought, looked really sharp, Manchester United, pinging the ball around on the ground, but Tottenham are starting to grow into the game, and it's 0-0, and we played 17 minutes of the first half. Hasn't been very much a goal-mouth incident, despite all the pretty stuff in midfield. Spurs with their fullback, and Modric wants it, which is a good sign. Modric getting more and more involved. King on the edge of the centre circle, at the edge of the penalty area, and now Kabul. Tottenham builds slowly here. And Louis Sahar's looking to make a run. Here comes the ball from Kabul now, aimed towards Sahar. Sahar beaten in the air by Evans. Evra will tidy up over on the far side, and it's gone out of play. Well, Louis Sahar was just waiting for the right moment there.
Yeah, he did well, because he came off the centre-back and then turned and deliberately looked to get himself in behind the two centre-backs and looking for the long pass.
On a day when Fulham have thrashed Wolves 5-0, 1-1 between Newcastle and Sunderland, and 2-0 to West Ham at Cardiff. Here at White Hart Lane, Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, and United have the ball, playing from left to right, and Carrick now finds Welbeck. Welbeck jumps round the challenge from Livermore, and Manchester United work it back into their defence. And now Johnny Evans, one of the centre-backs, gives the ball back to De Gea, who's not really been tested yet. That's a clearance from De Gea. Rooney's struggling to get in the game at the moment, and it may open up here for Adebayor with those long legs striding forward. Adebayor shot! De Gea, in the end, turns it away for a corner. Adebayor whipped it in, and De Gea went down to his left and turns the ball away for Tottenham's first corner kick, which Modric will take.
Yeah, first shot, first real save of the game. He did well. Been disappointed. I expected him to save it. It wasn't a great save, but what he did well was to knock it away out of the danger area. Conceded a corner. That had to be done.
Corner kick to Spurs. King and Kabul in the penalty area. In comes the corner kick for Spurs. Kabul's header is wide in the end. And that would have been really costly, because I agree, Graham, he made a bit of a meal of that, didn't he, really, in the United goal?
Yeah. He knocked it away. You could argue he could have held it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're all wrapped up here against the elements, as we have played 90 minutes of the first half, and we're still waiting for things to unfold here, as De Gea clears for Manchester United every time to this right-hand side. Jones, Rooney's really struggling to get in this match. Tottenham have it back again, and it's Modric now for Spurs, trying to play the ball through Nani's legs. Tottenham building, and they don't mind going back to keep possession. And now the tall Kabul, the centre-back, almost reaches the halfway line and then fires one towards Adebayor, Evans going in with Adebayor, hasn't cleared it yet. Livermore wins possession back for Spurs and turns. He's 15 yards inside the United half. Carrick is backing off as Scholes cuts it up, but only as far as Walker. Tottenham much more involved in the game now. Sandro for Livermore. Livermore now to the far side and looking for the pace now of Lennon. Here goes Lennon, hasn't got going yet. In comes a cross, diving header away by Jones. Over on that right-hand side, it's going to be a throw to Spurs. And Walker's already in position to take it. Kyle Walker throws the ball into the area. Adebayor controls it on the chest, takes the ball towards the dead ball line. Ashley Young is back playing at left back at the moment, which will tell you that United are being contained. Let's get some more news for you from Conor McNamara in Paris.
France 17, Ireland 17. Nail-biting game now at a full Stade de France. Ireland led by 11 points at half-time. 2 tries from Tommy Bowe. The French got back into it thanks to Wesley Fofana's try and some solid kicking from Morgan Parra. And we've got 10 minutes of game time remaining. The rain falling heavily. Old Square. France 17, Ireland 17.
You're listening to 5 Live on this Sunday afternoon. Nearly 21 minutes gone in the first half. Spurs 0, Manchester United. And now a chance for Rooney. And Rooney goes into the Spurs half and releases Welbeck. 2 defenders there though, and Welbeck can't get through, and the Spurs defenders do their job, and Friedel picks up the loose ball. But that was a rare sight of Rooney in possession.
I was just going to say, the first time we've seen Rooney drop off the centre-backs and then get the ball, be able to turn and run at the Tottenham defence.
High clearance by Friedel, and that was awkward for Ferdinand against Sahar. United head the ball now to the unmarked Rooney on the halfway line. Rooney has to play it quickly and loses possession, and Spurs now inside the centre circle look to Livermore. Clever ball by Livermore, little flick from Lennon. Tottenham looking much better now. Sahar rides the challenges. Referee plays a good advantage as Livermore finds Walker down the right. This is not much better from the home side. Sandro to Lennon. Lennon in now to Adebayor, back again to Lennon down the right. Sahar's in the penalty area. Lennon goes the long way round, gets the cross in. Oh, mess at the back almost by Manchester United. A real mess at the back, and they're lucky to survive that as Young now waits for the right moment to clear, and he doesn't clear well. Walker almost steps in. United making a few mistakes. Halfway point of the first half. Much better from the home side. Alan Green.
Well, the need for explanation on 2 counts. First of all, the cold. The wind is from Canada, I'm told. I think that part of Canada nearest the Arctic Circle. And the reason for the laughter earlier is not so obvious to Mike Graham, but about 4 feet to my left, there's a television commentator who hasn't paused for breath. Honestly, he hasn't shut up. He has not learned. He's quite youthful. He hasn't learned that on television you can say nothing and let the pictures speak for themselves. Watch him. Heaven knows what it'll be like if there's a goal.
No, I'm looking at him now. He's still talking. He's sat down.
Of course he's talking.
Yes, he's...
Most of the time he's reading his notes as well. Anyway, stand by for the explosion of noise to my left if there's a goal. Anyway, here's Asu Okoto for Tottenham, who've looked the better team over the last 10 or 15 minutes. Played upfield towards Adebayor. Better controlled by Adebayor on this occasion. On the halfway line. In now to Sandro. Sandro flicks the ball to the right side, and Walker onto Sahar. Back to Walker. Just a couple of yards short of the halfway line. Into Livermore. Man on, shout the Tottenham fans as Welbeck rushed to confront Livermore. Walker finds the captain. King onto Modric. Back to King. Manchester United working very hard, Graham. You know, they're making challenges when they have to, standing up to Tottenham players in possession.
Well, certainly when out of possession, Manchester United, they get that into that 4-4-2 formation and say, OK, if you're going to play, you're going to have to play through us, and the chance of doing that is not so good.
King to Kabul, midway inside the Tottenham half. Sandro available, so too is Livermore. Livermore and Sandro in the centre of the midfield for Tottenham. But can't help but feel that Modric is a little bit out of position down the left side, but he's trying very hard to get involved in this game for Tottenham. Here's Carrick from Manchester United. Good ball to Rooney. Rooney can't find Welbeck. He was blocked there by Walker. Walker now over the halfway line into the United half. Played it to Adebayor, who made no attempt to get to the ball because I'm sure he knew he was offside.
Offside there, wasn't it?
25 minutes played here at White Hart Lane in the 4:10 kick-off this Sunday afternoon in the Barclays Premier League. You're listening to 5 Live. Earlier, Newcastle 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland had 2 players sent off. Fulham 5, Wolves 0. And in the Championship, Cardiff 0, West Ham 2. The lines will be open, by the way, for 6:06 in about half an hour's time. I'll give you the number around about that time. Here's Evans to Jones. Jones on to Nani. Nani back to Jones, and now Evans. And Evans forced to turn back and play it back to his goalkeeper, De Gea. De Gea's made one good save from Adebayor. Not a lot else for either goalkeeper to do. Scholes takes the ball on his chest. Sandro confronts him, but Scholes evades him, finds Nani, on to Jones. Welbeck down the near side of the field. Welbeck just rolls the ball under his right foot, finds Scholes. Scholes to the right of the centre circle. And, oh goodness, he almost lost it there to Adebayor, Scholes. And Adebayor, had he got the ball, was clean through.
Yeah, he read it very well, Adebayor.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, just got that really nice.
It's the cold.
Yeah.
Rooney to Nani. And now Carrick onto the far side, and the captain Evra level with the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Wasn't a great cross from the French fullback, and it should be cleared now by Walker. Walker's under pressure from Ashley Young. Poor clearance by Walker, straight to Evra. Walker's gone down injured from the challenge by Young. Young now with the cross into the penalty area, bounces a couple of times, and behind it goes for a goal kick. I didn't see the challenge on Walker.
Well, I think the referee will have seen that. He's refereed it very, very well, I think, so far. And sometimes, as we all know, players do go down. They feel they've made a mistake, and, you know,
yes,
if it's in a challenge, they stay down.
Yep.
And I have to say that's my suspicion. He's now walking back.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
Mike was quite right earlier saying that Rooney was struggling to get into the game, and I think that's true of Ashley Young as well down the left side.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
It's because mainly De Gea's clearance, you know, from a goal kick or from his hands, is always aimed down to the right towards Nani.
Every time it's been aimed. I'm not too certain why that should be.
Brad Friedel with a goal kick for Tottenham, headed down by Evans. Here's Nani, faced by Asuokoto on the right side for Manchester United, the champions. Oh, he breaks away from Asuokoto easily, Nani. Nani's cross in wasn't great, and it's diverted to safety by King. And here's Sandro. Sandro on to Modric, immediately confronted by Jones. Modric plays it forward, finds out. Zaha did really well. Zaha now with Adebayor to his left. Zaha still running forward. Fault. Yes, he was just outside the penalty area. Good position for Spurs.
He's going to caution Jones, isn't he? Yeah,
that's the first yellow card of the game. And the free kick is only a yard outside the Manchester United penalty area, slightly to the left as Spurs look at it. Well, this surely would be Modric, but we'll see. 28 minutes gone here at White Hart Lane. It's been tight, but Tottenham have just been the better side.
I think by the time you look at all the game, I thought Manchester United started off very well and with the better side then, but gradually each sort of 2 or 3 minutes as the game edges on, Tottenham have come more and more had more possession of the ball.
Right, well, Modric is standing close by the ball, so too is Lennon. Kapoor, who's got a fantastic shot, is lurking in the vicinity. It might be teed up for Yunus Kapoor. There are 4 players in the Manchester United wall, and 2 slightly to the left of it. De Gea just checking at his near post that everything's lined up where it should be. Modric has moved away, just standing in front of the United red wall. It's tapped for Kapoor. Kapoor's shot wide, a yard wide. Took a deflection. Can only have been a slight deflection of the corner.
I think it was as probably Ashley Young, Paul Scholes came forward to try to block it. It deflected off one of them.
Modric is going to take the corner from the left. He'll play it in right-footed. Adebayor's in the near post. Zaha's pushing with the defender. It's played in towards the near post and chested away by Welbeck, but back into Tottenham's possession. Modric again. Modric onto his right foot. Crosses again into the penalty area. Confusion between the goalkeeper and defender there. It was actually Rooney who was back defending. Rooney headed the ball away out of play for a throw-in when De Gea's shot surely would have claimed the ball.
Yeah, but I think Rooney was already committed. He had to go through with it.
Throw-in to Tottenham. Goes to Modric. Back to Lennon, and then Lennon plays it out off Welbeck. Another throw into Spurs. Half an hour gone here at Old Trafford on 5 Live. Spurs 0, Manchester United 0. Asa Koto to take this throw in towards Modric, who had been allowed to run forward. Modric does well, crosses towards the far post, but there wasn't a white shirt there, and Young should clear for Manchester United. He doesn't actually clear. He had an opportunity to play Evra free down the left. Now he's under pressure from Kabul, and the ball squirts away to Tottenham's possession. That was really careless by Ashley Young. Livermore to Adebayor, just to the right of the penalty area. Faced by Ferdinand. Adebayor teasing the England defender, plays it through his legs, then helped out Ferdinand by Evans, and it's out of play on the far side of the field for a throw-in to Tottenham. It's still 17-17 in Paris in the final minutes. France and Ireland in the Six Nations. Really 15 minutes left for play here in the first half at White Hart Lane. Tottenham in the ascendancy. The ball is on the far side of the field. Now with Sandro. Scholes snapping at his heel. Scholes pulling at him. Sandro turns away. Then it's not a great cross. And brilliantly played back off the chest by Jones to his goalkeeper De Gea.
That was an excellent turn back, because the cross came in very quickly. He made his mind up very early and did it. Excellent defending for me, that.
Yeah. We know he can play right back. I still want to see him play centre back for England.
Yeah.
Has to come at some stage for Jones. Ferdinand, of course, would like to think that he's going to be playing centre-back for England in the summer in Ukraine. Here's Evans for Manchester United. Forward to Nani. It's hacked away by Ledley King, and it's gone out of play. King immediately put his arm in the air, thinking he could fool the assistant or the referee into giving the throw into Spurs. Rightly, the signal was ignored. Manchester United's throw on the halfway line. Goes to Welbeck. Back to Nani. Rooney's running through the middle. Nani's pass wasn't good, and it's through to Friedel. Good run from Rooney, and perhaps should have been picked out by Nani. Here's Walker on the far side of the field. Hey, I tell you what, I'll say nothing for a minute. You can hear the television commentary. No, that's a television commentator.
And the ball's out of play.
It's a foreign station, folks, so you know not to tune into it unless you want your ears blasted. Asa Koto for Tottenham, 5 yards short of the halfway line, finds Modric. Modric spun away from Jones, and then Modric plays it forward to Adebayor, who held off Evans. Back it goes to Modric for the third time in this move. Then flicked into Adebayor. Adebayor, oh goodness gracious, if he brought that ball under control, he was clean through. He didn't quite, and it's cleared by Manchester United. Kabul heads the ball back into the United half, and now here's Livermore to Adebayor, back to Zaha. Adebayor again towards the near side of the field, but Zaha's pass was behind Adebayor, and I think it's gone out of play for a Manchester United throw-in.
I think we shouldn't underestimate the part that Livermore is playing here for Tottenham. I think this lad has a lot of quality and a good future in front of him.
12 minutes to go to half-time. Spurs 0, Manchester United 0. Spurs started this game 8 points behind Manchester United and 13 points behind Manchester City. Now, we know they don't really have any thoughts on winning the title, but Arsenal have moved to within 4 points of them. They need points today, Tottenham. Zaha running forward. He's got Lennon to his right. Zaha just outside the United penalty area. Passes to Lennon. Adebayor loops forward into the penalty area, waiting for the cross. Dinked in towards him. Headed away comfortably by Carrick. Walker collects it. Forward to Lennon again. Lennon's first touch wasn't great. Ferdinand allowed to get in there, put his right foot out and put the ball out of play for a throw into Spurs.
Tottenham certainly putting the pressure on, certainly having more possession and taking the game to Manchester United as often as they can.
Walker throws the ball all the way back to the halfway line to Kabul, and now it's Livermore who takes it up inside the centre circle. Options to his right, including Walker. Back to Kabul again. Into Livermore once more. No Gareth Bale today. No Scott Parker. Asa Koto swings the cross into the United penalty, allowed to bounce, which was dangerous for the champions, but then finally the captain Evra scoops the ball out of play in the far for a throw-in to Tottenham on the far side of the field. It's full time in Paris. Conor McNamara
And it's finished France 17, Ireland 17, a very rare draw in the Six Nations. Only the 5th time ever that these nations have finished all square on the rugby field. Ireland led by 11 points at half-time, thanks mainly to 2 tries from Tommy Bowe. But Wesley Fofana's try steadied the ship for France in the second half. Morgan Parra's kicking brought them back level. France could have won it with a late drop goal, but they couldn't get it between the posts, and there won't be a Grand Slam for France this year. It's finished France 17, Ireland 17.
There was a promising move for United then. Rooney might have found Welbeck, couldn't quite, and it's cleared by Tottenham. And back come United now, inside the Spurs half. Nani then tackled by Ledley King. The ball breaks to Nani again. Now Carrick. Scholes takes it up. Nani to his left. Scholes, head up. Always the sign of a great footballer. Scholes just slides the pass back to Ferdinand inside the centre circle. 10 minutes to go to half-time here on 5 Live. Ferdinand picks out Carrick. On to Nani. Jones is available down the right side. Jones crosses in first time, and King awkwardly plays the ball behind for a corner to Manchester United.
I see Manchester United getting a corner, having an attack at Tottenham for quite some minutes. It's really been Tottenham dominating the game.
Ashley Young's going to take this corner. It's from the United right. He'll play it in left-footed. Jones is going to stand with Kabul, the 2 number 4s, right in front of Brad Friedel. Ashley Young waits. He actually plays it in right-footed, scooped on by Rooney. Easy save for Friedel.
Yeah, all Wayne Rooney could do there as he came across, the ball shot into him. He's way past the near post. He could just try and hook it in there, and went straight to Friedel.
That's as close to a save as Friedel's had to make.
It is, yeah.
Now Sandro sprints away on the far side of the field. He's made great progress. He's midway inside the United half. Then he plays it back to Livermore. Livermore to the near side. Nasu Okoto on to Lennon, who pops up on the left rather than the right. Lennon now faced by Jones. Tries to take him on the outside. Beats him into the penalty area. Plays it in low. Shot by Zaha and scooped in by Eddie Bayor. The appeal for handball, and it's been given by Martin Atkinson. The goal has been disallowed. I didn't see quite how the handball developed. We're getting yes, it was. As Zaha flicked the ball towards the goal, it as much hit Eddie Bayor as he played it with his arm, but that controlled it effectively, and then he could flick it in.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate because I think it came up at him, but it was the arm movement that controlled the ball that allowed him to flick it back into the net.
Unfortunate for Tottenham in that if Eddie Bayor hadn't been there, Zaha was going to score.
It would have gone, yeah, definitely.
It was a goal line clearance from Eddie Bayor, and unfortunately for Tottenham, he put his hand in the way, and any opportunity of a goal was gone. Martin Atkinson got it absolutely right, but that will encourage Tottenham. Sandro over the halfway line. Then the pass was telegraphed towards Lennon. Well read by Evra. The pass back to De Gea, who for some reason is being booed. De Gea slightly put off by the noise from the crowd. Kicks it away to play on the far side of the field for a Spurs throw-in. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Spurs 0, Manchester United 0 here on 5 Live. Earlier in the Premiership, Newcastle 1, Sunderland 1, Fulham 5, Wolves 0. Fulham are up to 8th in the table. And in the Championship, Cardiff 0, West Ham 2. No doubt those matches and this one and the sacking of Andre Villas-Boas will be up for discussion in 6:06, which I'll be presenting from White Hart Lane from around about 6 o'clock. 0500 909 693 is the number to call. The lines will be opening very shortly. Hear that commentary in the background? That's television, folks. Wherever you're having to suffer it. Nani inside the centre circle. On to Rooney. The ball just wouldn't run quickly enough for Rooney, so he had to hesitate. Now he finds Nani. Nani breaks into the penalty area. Slipped the ball to the left to Ashley Young. Young could have crossed first time. Didn't. Now he plays Evra. Good move. Evra pulls the ball back. There's no red shirt there. And Modric lashes the ball out of play on the far side for a throw-in.
A little bit of good fortune for Tottenham there because it was an excellent pullback by Evra. And you can just imagine a midfield player coming on to that. Fortunately for Tottenham, neither Carrick or Scholes were about.
6 minutes to go in the first half here on 5 Live. Throw in to the champions. Evra to take it. Evra throws to Rooney, who stabs it back to Nani. Good challenge by Sandro, and it's cleared upfield by Livermore. Eddie Bayor chases after it. Evans was there too. but De Gea's quickly out of his penalty area to clear upfield. Rooney seemed to jump into the back of Ledley King, but Martin Atkinson saw nothing wrong. And anyway, for Tottenham, the ball went through to Friedel. Asa Koto to Modric, just moving over the halfway line now. Left side for Spurs. On now to Zaha. Oh, lovely touch by Livermore. Modric takes it up. Scholes snapping at his heels. Modric still has the ball though. And then he tries an ambitious pass to the left. Jones should have cut it out, didn't. Asa Koto gets there, crosses into the penalty area. Oh, was that another handball by Adebayor? Yes, it was. And it's a free kick to Manchester United.
And Martin Atkinson right again.
I've watched some very good referees of late, refereeing displays. Not necessarily good referees, but you know what I mean.
No,
good refereeing displays. And today's been good. Yesterday, Mark Halsey was excellent at Anfield.
Yeah.
Free kick. Manchester United. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at this noise to my left. Not a breath. There must be a tube going into his body somewhere with oxygen. There has to be, because he's not using his mouth to take air in. Here's Carrick from Manchester United to Nani. Back to Jones, and Jones, there wasn't a great ball from Nani. Jones had to hurry the pass forward and hit it inaccurately. It's now back with Friedel, who leans back but makes the clearance to the halfway line. Evra beats Lennon in the air, but there's Sandro heading it forward. Evans heads it away, but only to Walker on the far side of the field. Walker under pressure of Ashley Young. Ashley Young pulling at Walker. It's got to be a free kick sometime soon. No, Walker manages to clear off the combined bodies of Rooney and Young, and he finds a colleague, and now it's on the left side with Asa Koto. And Asa Koto shown the space down the left side by Nani. Ran forward, then he played it in. Zaha miscontrolled it, and Manchester United have it back. Two good sides at the moment, cancelling each other out.
Yeah, been some very good play. Very few shots though, isn't it? Very few shots.
Rooney fouls Sandro, acknowledges it, just pats him on the back. The referee had already awarded the free kick. And, well, Alex Ferguson out in the technical area. As Mike rightly said earlier, it's normally a sign that he thinks things aren't going that well. Kabul with a free kick for Tottenham. Played deliberately high towards Adebayor, who heads it on to the penalty. Zaha is there. He's challenged by Evans. The ball squirts in the air, and then Adebayor pushes Jones over, and it's another free kick against Adebayor. This is getting monotonous now.
So he's just having a word with him, Martin. He's just had a word with him. Atkinson saying that's 3 fouls I've just given against you now. I don't know what he's actually saying to him.
Well, persistent foul play, you'd be yellow carded, son. 2.5 minutes left in the first half. I can't remember any interruption to play, but they always add on a minute anyway. De Gea with a free kick. King and Rooney collide. Martin Atkinson saw nothing wrong. Tottenham clear, and it's headed on by Zaha. Adebayor is after it. Good header away by Evans. Evans is playing really well today alongside Ferdinand. Now it's Ashley Young. Evra to his left. Played to Evra. Evra took that awkwardly but kept it in play. Find Ashley Young again. Now it's infield to Carrick. Challenged by Sandro after the ball's gone away. It's a free kick, and it's a yellow card to Sandro. I was watching the ball.
Well, I saw it, and Ashley Young did go down. He, a little bit surprised the yellow card was shown there.
Not like Ashley Young to go down easily.
Well, I think that's why I said
not
that.
Much. I know, Graham.
Yeah,
I know. Well, the free kick is... it's not where he's going to take it, Martin Atkinson has already told him to take it out by the touchline.
Right on the touchline.
And Ashley Young has twice tried to steal a yard. What is the point? Just put the ball down somewhere it's meant to be and play the free kick in. A minute to go to half-time. Manchester United free kick from the left, played in towards Evans, comes off Livermore's head, bouncing awkwardly just on top of the crossbar, or it would have done had Friedel not punched it over.
Yeah, Friedel made sure, played it safe there, because there was a chance it would come down on the top of the crossbar, and you never know, it might have come back into play.
A few boos aimed at Ashley Young, who Tottenham fans obviously feel made far too much of that challenge by Sandro less than a minute ago. Ashley Young's going to take this corner inside the final minute of the first half. half a dozen red shirts in Friedel's penalty area. Young plays it in toward the near post. Rooney heads it in. Rooney heads Manchester United in front. Young turns to the Tottenham fans who have barracked him, punches the air, and Rooney, with his 23rd goal of the season, his 18th in the Premier League, gives the champions a vital lead. Close to half-time, Spurs 0, Manchester United 1.
His movement was just not picked up. It's not a great movement. He's in the 6-yard box. He comes across and just leaves his defender. It's only a yard. He just needs to get a yard in front of him. That's all it is. And he's got in, and it's headed in head high. He's hardly jumped. Not had to jump off the ground. Hardly anything for it, and gets a clean header into it.
Quite a soft goal.
Well, Tottenham will be very disappointed with that.
And the obligatory 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, which we're now into. And the hardcore United fans who have made the journey south today are enjoying the final seconds of the first half. The team in front, well, the first time really that Friedel's goal has been properly threatened.
Yes, no, definitely. I mean, Tottenham have had far more control of the game than Manchester United. There's been very few shots. I think that's probably, is it Manchester United's first effort at goal?
Yeah, well, there was that sort of flick by Rooney on the near post, which Friedel saved comfortably. But really, he hasn't been troubled otherwise. And the United fans are certain to be chanting in the second half, Harry for England.
In May, at the end of the season.
Boos all around White Hart Lane. I don't know why. Is it some slight by Martin Atkinson? United have the lead, and it's a very, very important lead, Graham.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the game. I've enjoyed it in terms of the passing and movement. Would have liked to see more end product. We got that right at the end when Rooney headed in an Ashley Young corner to put Manchester United 1-0 in the lead.
Well, Ledley King had a word with Martin Atkinson. I don't see what the referee's done wrong. Half-time score will please Sir Alex. Spurs 0, Manchester United 1.
Thank you, Alan. Just before you have a cuppa and warm up, it's like a Tibetan monastery up here, isn't it? It was so cold. Graham Taylor, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Graham? You can't quite hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you,
oh,
yes.
Good.
Thank you.
That wasn't a goal for Spurs, was it?
No,
definitely not.
No.
So there's no complaints.
I don't think they have any complaints. That was handball before it was put in, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And overall, Manchester United doing what they always do. They may not have all the possession, but when they get near that 6-yard box...
Well, right at the death there, I mean, Tottenham would look at themselves, how's he do it? But when the ball's delivered into the 6-yard area, it's vital you've got goal side of your opponent. And Rooney was allowed to just get in, simple header straight in. So that was poor defending by Tottenham, and yet in effect they have controlled more of the first half than Manchester United. There's been some very good play in terms of one-touch, two-touch passing and movement by both sides. Very few shots though.
Very interesting though, for the first 35 minutes I've never seen Sir Alex Ferguson on his feet so much.
No, well,
very concerned.
Yeah, you don't often see that. You look at Sir Alex's appearance in the 6-yard, in the technical area as well. Something he needs to be getting something out to his team, and he stood there quite a lot this half.
Graham, thanks very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
Graham Taylor, who's with us today. So it's Manchester United who are in front despite not having most of the chances. Tottenham haven't scored though, even though they had the ball in the net. Handball given against Adebayor, rightly so, says Graham Taylor. You could have got 4-1 on Rooney being the first goal scorer today. He scored 6 goals in his last 6.5 games against Spurs, and Manchester United's away record this season really is phenomenal. Before today they already had 30 points away from home, and that was 5 more than their total last season. 5 away wins in all last season, and they won the title. 9 away already this season. I wonder if it'll be 10. If you've got an opinion on this game or anything to do with football, ring Alan after the match, 6:06, and of course you may want to talk about the Chelsea news today. If you haven't heard it, Andrea Villas-Boas has lost his job as the manager of Chelsea, and Roberto Di Matteo is in charge in the interim until the end of the season. Full-time, Wigan against Catalan Dragons in the Super League. Dave Woods.
Wigan 36, Catalan 12. It makes it sound a lot easier than it was. Catalan were winning 12-10 at half-time. Remember, there's the only 100% record in Super League before today. But in the second half, Wigan kept their discipline. They were complaining about a little bit of over-physicality at times from Catalan, but Wigan scored 4 tries in that second period. Josh Charnley with a couple of them, Sean O'Loughlin and Jack Hughes the other, and their dummy half Michael McAlorum outstanding. Richard 6 goals out of 7. The other results today: Hull Kingston Rovers 36, Witness 0. Huddersfield have hung on to beat St Helens 17-16. Luke George with a hat-trick, and Hull have hung on to beat Wakefield 14 points to 10. Here to remind you, Wigan 36, Catalan 12.
Thanks, David. France 17, Ireland 17. That's how it finished in the Six Nations today, and that rescheduled match after the Stade de France pitch was frozen a couple of weeks ago. Ireland were actually, with 2 tries, 11 points up at half-time, but in the end it was a 4th draw between these nations, and afterwards Jill Douglas spoke with the Irish captain, Connell.
Well, Paul, if Ireland won the first half, France won the second half, so perhaps a draw, a fair result?
Yeah, so I suppose it is. Yeah, it's disappointing for us. We played good rugby in the first half, probably didn't match it in the second half. A few penalties in the second half, which we'll have to look at. A few penalties in the first half, which I'd like to see as well, particularly the scrum where I thought they went early, but it's disappointing, with a great opportunity to win, we didn't take it.
Just in the very last dying seconds, though, France with a great opportunity, and again, solid defence from Ireland. That was just key to your overall performance here today, wasn't it? Yeah,
our defence was excellent. Our scramble defence was good when they made breaks. It's not very often you see French teams in Paris picking and going like that. So, they're trying to draw the penalty, but our defence is excellent. Fair play to the boys.
And you were in uncharted territory, leading at half-time. The first time I think that's happened here at the Stade de France. At that point, you must have thought this game was within your grasp.
Yeah, obviously we wanted a better start. We failed to retain the ball at times. It's been a bit of a symptom of ours for the last 2 games. When we did retain it, we were really good. So it was very frustrating to start. Obviously, they were going to come out all guns blazing. They wouldn't have been like to have been behind by that scoreline. So it's frustrating for us. You don't get many opportunities to win here. It's disappointing we didn't take it.
So a disappointed Irish captain, Paul O'Connell, speaking after the match with Jill Douglas. France 17, Ireland 17 was how it finished, and Conor McNamara was there for us. A fair result in the end, Conor?
Yes, I think so, Ian. I mean, Ireland have only beaten France in Paris once since 1972. It's very rare that Ireland's rugby team travel to this city and then return without defeat. I guess they've now done it twice in 3 weeks, given the original game called off at the last minute due to the frozen pitch. And this is a rare Six Nations draw. It's not often in this competition that teams finish level, but Tommy Bowe continuing this run of scoring 2 tries in every championship game he's played in this year. Ireland leading, as you said, by 11 points at the break. And as Jill Douglas mentioned in the interview there, they'd never led, even at half-time, let alone full-time at this stadium before. Into the second half, though, and I think we always felt that France would be strong enough to at least make it close, to at least get back and make things very competitive. The try when it came from Wesley Fofana was all about power and pace, and Morgan Parra's boot was able to sort of keep the scoreboard ticking over as well. The Ireland flanker David Wallace was commentating on the game on 5 Live Sports Extra. The Irish players, David, they'd have been thinking at half-time they could make history, but it was always going to be tough in the second half.
Yeah, I think they put a near faultless display in the first half, and they're going to have to do that again in the second half. But France are always going to come back into this game in some form, and they did right from the off, getting, I suppose, 11 unanswered points in about 25 minutes. So maybe 20 minutes, sorry. But it was always going to be difficult in the second half. Ireland did very well to hold out with some fantastic displays of Rob Kearney and Stephen Ferris, who kept thwarting the French attack every time he could, and also blocked a drop goal late on in the second half. So some unbelievable displays. Tommy Bowe obviously as well, getting 2 tries.
Well, what this all means is that France cannot now win another Grand Slam, but they can still pip Wales to the championship. David, this has been the second of a run of 4 games in 4 weeks for the French. England will be here next weekend. That's going to take the toll on the French squad.
Yeah, it's difficult, and I suppose they'd be happy nearly, I think, with this draw, albeit at home to Ireland. But they didn't create a hell of a lot. Maybe that's down to Ireland thwarting all their attacking plays. But their 1 try came from a bit of a loose pass. Ball went to ground, and it just popped up into Fofana's hands. So they'll be looking to try and have a bit more of an attacking display against England, and maybe leading up to a massive game against Wales at the end for the championship.
So it's finished France 17, Ireland 17. It means that Ireland are now out of the running for any of the honours, still with 2 games to play. And if anyone, Ian, is going to win a Grand Slam this year, it'll be Wales, just as they did in 2005 and 2008.
Thanks, Connor. 17 all then, France and Ireland finishing, and there'll be live coverage of France against England in next weekend's 5 Live Sport. We've still got a lot to talk about. We've got to talk about Newcastle and Sunderland's draw today. That was hardly the story, it was so feisty, and also an absolute slaughter for Terry Connor's Wolves at Fulham. First, the 5 Live news from Gene McCallum.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Polls have just closed in the Russian presidential election, and exit polls are suggesting the Prime Minister Vladimir Putin has won around 60% of the vote. However, there have been claims by the country's opposition that voting has been rigged. At least 200 people are feared dead after a number of huge explosions at a munitions depot in the Republic of Congo's capital, Brazzaville. The blasts were felt several miles away. Hundreds more have been injured. Scotland's First Minister Alex Salmond has called the sudden death of the lawyer Paul McBride as sad and shocking news. The leading Scottish QC is believed to have died in his sleep while on a visit to Pakistan. He was 46. The police watchdog is investigating after armed officers shot and killed a man last night in Cheshire. Greater Manchester Police say they pulled over the vehicle the man was in a pre-planned operation. It happened near Culcheth, near Warrington, just after 7 p.m. 2 other men were arrested. And President Obama says he wouldn't hesitate to use force to stop Iran developing a nuclear weapon if necessary, but he'd prefer to use diplomacy. In a speech to the America-Israel Public Affairs Committee, he warned against too much loose talk of war in relation to Iran. Starting on the M25 in Hertfordshire, very slow traffic clockwise between Potters Bar and Enfield after an earlier accident. 2 cars came off the road. At the moment, all traffic is being held while they're moved. Queues are back to junction at 23 for the A1M at South Mims. Delays of around 30 minutes on the M1 London bound in Northamptonshire. That's after a multi-vehicle crash at Newport Pagnell Services. In Kent, 1 lane is closed London bound on the M20 between Canterbury and Maidstone Services. That's after an accident. Traffic, however, it seems to be coping well. In Dymchurch in Kent, the A259 Hythe Road has been closed in both directions after a crash, and it's slow going at Garstang on the A6 in both directions after a crash between Keppel Lane and the Avenue. The road's been closed. Police are directing traffic. G. McCallum, 5 Live Travel.
On the Money with Declan Curry.
Tonight, a boss with a plan to create thousands of jobs. He's Mike Farley. He's got ideas on how to help more young people buy their first home and how to get thousands of people back into work building the extra houses we need. But he says it'll only work if the Chancellor digs deep into his pocket in the budget.
On the Money, every Sunday night from 8 on 5 Live.
This is Ian Payne at White Hart Lane, where Spurs trailing against Manchester United by 1-0 at half-time. Wayne Rooney scoring just before the half-time whistle. Let's crack through some of the other stories today. Chelsea have parted company with their manager Andre Villas-Boas. Di Matteo is going to be in charge for the rest of the season. The former Chelsea winger Pat Nevin told us earlier that Villas-Boas had an impossible job.
I don't think it really matters who is the manager. He's made a few mistakes, yes, I accept that, but if you're going to have to do a job as big as the job he's been asked to do, which is turn around a major club that has its most successful period in its entire history. By the way, you need to turn that round, you need to change the style of the play, you need to make it exciting. You also have to get rid of the players that have been the bedrock of that as well. And while you're doing that, could you make sure you're really successful as well? It's a big ask.
Do you think that, as a lot of cynics believe, that with Roberto Di Matteo in charge, it'll actually be the players almost picking the team now? Or is that too cynical?
Well, I'll tell you what, the players' position is very important from here on in, particularly the next 2 or 3 weeks. The Birmingham game coming up, obviously, and the Napoli game as well. But this is all very short-termist, as I'm sure you would agree with me, because eventually, in the long term, someone's going to have to do a long-term job on Chelsea, and they thought it was going to be AVB. Okay, it's not going to be him. Is it going to be the next guy? Well, whoever he is, he better start doing it, and he better start doing it very, very quickly. It's as I say, it's a very, very tough job, but between now and the next 2 or 3 weeks, yes, in short, the players have got a big job.
That was Pat Nevin, a former Chelsea player, speaking about the removal of AVB today. We also spoke to the former Chelsea manager Avram Grant, and he gave us an insight into what it's like to work for Roman Abramovich.
I think if you speak about Roman Abramovich, I think he ran the club. If you're speaking with the manager or not speaking with the manager, they give you almost all the tools that you want to succeed, and then he said to you, this is the job, we don't need to speak about this too much. Do your job.
I think a lot of people would be fascinated to try and get inside the mind of Roman Abramovich. What is his ambition at Chelsea? Why is he there, do you think?
He loves football very, very much, and he wants to achieve the best. He spends a lot of money to achieve the best, a lot of money. Everybody knows only about players, but he built unbelievable facilities, the best in the world, or one of the best in the world. He spent a lot of money on things around the football, and he loves football very, very much. And as a man that wants to spend a lot of money, want to be that Chelsea will be the best in the world or one of the best in the world, that's for sure.
That's the former Chelsea manager Avram Grant speaking earlier today. If you've got a comment or a question on anything to do with football, particularly the Chelsea story, you can ring Alan Green after this match and this programme is finished with 606 0500 909 693. The programme time-wise will probably be, 610 rather than 606. Fulham fans, Wolves fans, you may want to ring in as well. Wolves now in the bottom three after losing 5-0 at Fulham. The Russian Pavel Probreniak scored a hat-trick. Clint Dempsey got the other two. Here's the reaction of the Wolves manager Terry Connor.
I thought we defended well for the first 35. I thought we did well, but we conceded a goal from a corner kick which was disputed, but the referee gave it and we didn't defend it properly, and it ended up being 1-0 down just before half-time. We lost possession when we were in control of the ball. And it went to 2-0, so you're facing an uphill battle in the second half. The week before we came back and we got the next goal and made it a bit of a comeback and make it 2-2. This week, after the 10 minutes of the second half, we lost the third goal, and I think that obviously then takes its toll on the team then.
Because you know these players so well, you know that they have it within them to eradicate the memory of this pretty quickly, don't you?
Well, we have to, we've lost games before and we've bounced back, and certainly over the last 2 or 3 years, but working in the Premier League, you do know that you're going to get a bloody nose every now and again, and it's how you react and bounce back from that.
Terry Connor, the Wolves manager, after that 5-0 defeat at Fulham. Also today, Newcastle and Sunderland drew 1-1. Newcastle missed a penalty and Sunderland had 2 men sent off. All the highlights on Match of the Day 2, followed by that incredible behind-the-scenes documentary at Queen's Park Rangers. West Ham, 4 points now ahead of third place Reading after a 2-0 win at Cardiff. And we'll keep you up to date with any other news as it happens. But the players are out for the second half in this second versus third battle. Wayne Rooney's goal towards the end of the first half, separating the two sides. It's Spurs 0, Manchester United 1. Graham Taylor, Alan Green, and your commentator to start, Mike Ingham.
The Tottenham team is Friedel, Walker, Kabul, King and Asu Okoto, Lennon, Livermore, Sandro and Modric, Sahar and Adebayor. United, De Gea, Jones, Ferdinand, Evans and Evra, Nani, Carrick, Scholes, Young, Rooney and Welbeck. So Wayne Rooney's goal dividing the sides. What a big win this would be if Manchester United can go all the way, but Tottenham will have different ideas, playing from left to right, launching a long ball forward, headed on towards Adebayor and Evans, so I agree with Alan, really did have a very good first half, clears out of play. What is it they say? Ne'er cast a clout till March is out. Isn't that the saying?
That is the saying.
It is the saying, isn't it? I mean, we thought winter was over. Well, we can't feel our feet here. It's freezing. As Tottenham now have possibilities. Livermore to Walker, just down below us as we welcome World Service to a wintry White Hart Lane. Manchester United lead Spurs by 1-0. A goal right on half-time from Rooney following a Young corner kick. Tottenham had a goal disallowed for handball. I think that's why everybody from Spurs booed referee Martin Atkinson at half-time. It's Kabul for Spurs. 1-0 to Manchester United. Long ball forward. Tottenham don't get anywhere though. It's right back inside their half once more. And Walker's there threading the ball back. And just for the benefit of World Service, Graham, just your thoughts on the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Tottenham, Manchester United start off the first 10 minutes very, very well, but then Tottenham came into it. And quite honestly, by the time half-time was approaching, Tottenham were the more positive side. They had more possession, they had more control of the game. They conceded a corner just before half-time and allowed, really, Rooney to have a free header to put Manchester United 1-0 up.
It's Graham Taylor, the former England manager, watching here. We're wondering, of course, whether the future England manager is also here today, Harry Redknapp. And his team, after a slowish start, certainly got more possession than Manchester United. Modric got more involved. They looked the likelier team to score, probably, Spurs. And then we had that goal, as Graham was saying, right on half-time. Wayne Rooney, who's been out recently with a throat infection, who had a quiet first half by his standards, but he was there when it mattered. And Manchester United, who have this great record against Spurs, lead 1-0. Jones looking for Rooney, who's playing down the right-hand side at the moment, and the boot was a bit high there from Masuakoto. Not sure whether it connected with Rooney, and has he given a free kick for dangerous play?
Yes, he
has. So, Jones, the right back, just nudges the free kick back to Evans, who's just inside the Spurs half. Now it's Paul Scholes with a lovely ball to Young, just left-hand side for Manchester United. No Valencia, of course, at the moment. He's injured. Scholes for Manchester United. Oh, it's overhit. Very un-Paul Scholes-like, and that's gone behind for a goal kick to Spurs.
Yeah, annoyed with him, showing annoyance with himself as well there. It's most unusual to see Paul Scholes looking to hit a diagonal ball and get it so wrong.
Well, we've got the cat at Anfield, and we've almost got a pigeon with us here now in the commentary box here at White Hart Lane. Got a bird's eye view up there. Sorry about that. And it's a free kick to Spurs. So the one thing that should be guaranteed, though, I think now in this second half, after a quiet first half, is that we should have some action for you, because that goal should have opened things up here. Tottenham are trying to come back. It's a Modric free kick, and Ledley King, the Tottenham captain's gone forward. So a free kick to Spurs, Modric to take it, long way away from De Gea's goal, but it's a testing moment for the young Spaniard in the Manchester United goal. In goes the free kick. Oh, it's an easy header away by Jones. It was poorly delivered by Modric, and now he chases to get the ball back again over on the left-hand side. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 1 on 5 Live and BBC World Service. It's Masuakoto, the attacking left-back, moves the ball across the field, and now down this right-hand side, Kabul for Tottenham. That was hit very hard towards Adebayor. Oh, work for Ferdinand to do in the penalty area. He couldn't give it back to his goalkeeper, and he switches it back for a corner kick. So the Tottenham fans respond.
Yeah, they come out well, Tottenham, taking the game towards Manchester United all the time.
Well, the Manchester United goal was scored from a corner kick on the other side, in the same goal that now Tottenham are attacking. Luka Modric once more with this Spurs corner kick. Lots of white shirts waiting in the penalty area. In goes the kick. It's very deep. Kabul got his head to it. No power, though, at all. And they're appealing a bit half-heartedly, I think, there for another corner kick. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United. 4.5 minutes gone in the second half. 1-0 they lead.
The game pretty even as well. It always was that in the first half, each side having its moments, but Tottenham certainly, as they went on into the first half, with the side that had more possession, more in control, and we're just waiting to see if that will continue in the second half.
Such a big 40 minutes this in Premier League terms, bearing in mind that, and Roberto Mancini too will realise that this is probably on paper Manchester United's most difficult game before the two Manchester clubs meet right at the end of April on a Monday night, last Monday of April. Tottenham away, not easy, just the one home defeat all season for Spurs. And now it's Kyle Walker, right-hand side for Spurs, going inside the Manchester United half. Long way to go, though, yet for Manchester United for the 3 points here. Walker's return ball to Lennon. Lennon's poised on the edge of the penalty area. Here comes Lennon. Works the ball in towards Adebayor. Header away. Livermore almost got in there for Spurs. Spurs still pressing, still applying the pressure on the Manchester United defence. United are going to try and get out of it, and that's a lovely ball from Carrick. Now for Jones over on the right. Jones dilly-dallied, caught in possession by Masuakoto. Spurs have come out strongly here. Modric trying to turn away from Scholes. Free kick is given against Manchester United. Modric has been grounded. Martin Atkinson, the referee, gives the free kick and allows Spurs to take it quickly. Spurs now once more with Lennon. He's the source of most of their dangerous moments, Aaron Lennon. Walker again. This is quite a combination, Walker and Lennon, down the Tottenham right. Now the ball is played into Adebayor. Ferdinand just takes him out of the penalty area. Adebayor linking with Lennon, and now Walker. Sahar's waiting in the penalty area if the cross comes in. It's Lennon setting off once more for Spurs. Good ball to the unmarked Livermore. Livermore took a shot. De Gea saves and scrambled away in the end by Johnny Evans. Livermore's shot took a deflection and it was kept out.
What an excellent save that was by De Gea. The deflection, there was a deflection just round about the 6-yard box. It was a shot, tremendous pace on it, and it got the deflection. He got his hand to it and it was strong enough. Yes, he's conceded the corner, but that's one of the best saves I've seen that goalkeeper make.
Evans was injured as he cleared. I think we'll just wait for Modric to take this corner, because if De Gea's had a weakness, it's been dealing with crosses, but not the shots coming in on the ground. Header from Kabul is well wide. And I think his reflexes are terrific though, aren't they?
Excellent. It was a really, really first-class save, and the deflection as well. He's still got it across, he got the whole hand to it, and we all talk about goalkeepers having strong hands. He got it out of the danger area. Yes, it conceded a corner, but it really was a first-class save.
There's been talk this week about him needing to put weight on De Gea. He ought to come out for a meal with me and Greeny, I think. I'll sort him out. Anyway. Oh no, there's an injury now as Manchester United think they go forward. And Martin Atkinson's just going to go across. Is it Phil Jones who's injured? I think it might be over on the right-hand side.
It is, yeah.
So, and one or two of the Tottenham players as well, sportingly just making sure that he's okay. But these are big moments now in the season, aren't they, Greg?
Definitely. No, I mean, you look at these games and people say you should never go ahead of yourself, and obviously both teams know that this game, deal with this game and then let's see what. But for the rest of us, we do look ahead at times. And for Manchester United, they come away winning this game. One has to say, no games are won or lost on paper, but actually on paper, if you're in that top club, you'd want Manchester United's run in terms of the teams, generally the teams they still have to play. So this is a very, very important game for Manchester United to make sure they stay very close to their neighbours, Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, City, the Spurs give the ball back, have arguably on paper got the slightly tougher set of games coming up now before the Manchester derby, which is at City, and it's Monday, April the 30th, and you'll be able to hear that live on 5 Live. So De Gea clears for Manchester United, 1-0 to Manchester United. Rooney's goal right on half-time. Jones had recovered from the injury, now he's gone down again, he's wanting a free kick as he hobbles out of that challenge, and Ferdinand clears down the centre, and Tottenham give the ball away. Martin Atkinson, of course, Sir Alex furious with him at Chelsea last season, but he denied Spurs a goal here in the first half, a handball. The tackles go flying in now, and Scholes goes to the ground, and it has to be a free kick to Manchester United this time. But it's on this bitterly cold day, warming up certainly inside the stadium, as Tottenham try and get themselves back into this match with nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half.
Well, the Tottenham supporters making their feelings known. Phil Jones on 2 occasions has gone down, then limped about, and then the ball's come near him and straight away the limp has gone. And of course that doesn't help with the with the supporters, the home supporters.
I'm intrigued by this, Coy, because once again there, not only is it the goalkeeper hitting the balls to Nani in the air down the right hand side, Ferdinand's instinct then with the free kick straight away was to put it in the air to Nani over on the right hand side. Anyway, now Spurs clear. Friedel clears for Tottenham, headed back into the Tottenham half. Next goal could be massive. Rooney has it taken away from him, and it's thumped downfield from Asu Okoto. Poor control there from Sahar, neatly headed by Scholes to Young, who's been quite quiet so far in this second half. He doesn't venture very far forward, and it's going to be Spurs now looking to get moving once more. Scholes and Sandro runs out of space, and the ball is out of play, and it's going to be a Tottenham throw-in. Martin Atkinson stamping his authority on the game, having a good match so far. Ball thrown back to Kabul, the centre-back for Spurs, and Spurs start just inside their half with a crossfield ball from Walker, looking for Adebayor. Surely a handball, shot driven in by Sahar. I thought Adebayor, he does sometimes when he goes to control that ball, come very close to using his hand. Throw into Spurs. Adebayor's flick. Sandro's going into the penalty area. Carrick's clearance isn't very strong. It's Lennon now for Tottenham. Lennon again for Tottenham. Ferdinand at full stretch concedes the corner.
Yeah, excellent 1-2 there. Lennon got the cross in as well. Tottenham certainly are now coming at Manchester United with the crowd behind them, urging them on.
They need to give the ball to Lennon as much as they can, I think. Corner kick to Spurs and Modric to take it. 1-0 to Manchester United. Here comes the corner, driven in, headed away by Evra for Manchester United. Livermore will win it back and find Walker, who's back inside the centre circle. Walker's ball right down the centre of United's defence. Should be headed away by Evra. United still can't get the ball out of their own half though. Welbeck jumping with Sandro. Rooney almost nipped in there for United, but here come Livermore for Spurs. A mistake by Carrick, and now it's Modric. Well, he's been adjudged to have been fouled there by Evra. Seemed to go to the ground quite cheaply. It's a free kick to Spurs on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there with you, Mike. It looked like he realised he wasn't going to get past him, and somehow the next minute or the next second he's on the ground.
Well, Martin Atkinson blew straight away, and this is a real possibility for Tottenham. Asuakoto maybe with his left foot, but he's got Modric and Lennon with him as well. Manchester United setting up a wall here of half a dozen. De Gea guards his near post. It's 1-0 to Manchester United, and we played nearly 13 minutes of the second half on this wintry afternoon at White Hart Lane. Could this be a big moment in the match? It's Asuakoto with the free kick, and a goalkeeper, did he get his fingers to it? No. It's gone over the bar, and De Gea was very close to getting fingers to it, but it's a goal kick.
Yeah, not a bad free kick, just wide. De Gea had to certainly make sure he got it covered, and he had.
Well, it's a good contest now, and let's see where De Gea plants this latest goal kick. In it goes, and it's towards Rooney this time. He's beaten easily in the air by King, and Tottenham United having to concede quite a lot of ground at the moment, having to play quite deep as Spurs stride forward once more. Adebayor leading the line, finds Walker right hand side. United getting everybody apart from Welbeck back inside their own half, being forced back here though by Spurs, but defending a 1-0 lead. Ball chipped in by Walker. Adebayor falls in the penalty area and tries to buy the penalty, and Martin Atkinson says play on. Get a word from Graham Taylor in a moment as Manchester United try and go now inside the Spurs half, linking down this left hand side, Evra and Young, but Tottenham have won it back and they're tending to win the 50-50s at the moment. Graham?
No way was that a penalty. Martin Atkinson got it completely right.
Long one now from Asuakoto, and it's taken a deflection and fallen to Michael Carrick of Tottenham, Manchester United. Long one now looking for Danny Welbeck. Welbeck takes the defender Kabul with him towards the corner flag, and in the end he's done well there for his side, Danny Welbeck, because United have got a throw in, and we're going to have changes soon, I think. Over on the far side, Ryan Giggs, Alan thinks, is about to come into the game in a moment for Manchester. That's going to weaken the team, isn't it? Ryan Giggs coming on for his 901st. Throw-in quickly taken. Nani for Manchester United. Nani's ball. Could be no goal here. Shot driven in and scores Young. Ashley Young was there at the far post. And it was Nani who created the danger. We almost had an own goal from Spurs. Then the ball dropped to Ashley Young and he picked his spot. And now there are 2 goals between United and Tottenham. It's Tottenham 0, Manchester United 2, and it's Young.
Well, I have to admit, at one stage I just wondered what was happening in that Tottenham penalty box. They're all walking away with their heads down. I can't quite understand how they allowed that to happen, but it did, and Ashley Young eventually finished it off with a very, very good shot into the far corner, across the face of the goal, into the far corner. It's 2-0 Manchester United.
And it's Scholes making way for Giggs. And the crowd, out of frustration, I think, will probably boo Martin Atkinson, but they booed him at half-time, but his decision to turn down the goal was right. It was handball, and United have scored what could be the crucial second within seconds of Spurs appealing for a penalty, but we thought here that Adebayor really threw himself to the ground, and Martin Atkinson certainly felt the same way about it, and now this is turning out to be a fantastic day for Manchester United. It was Young who took the corner which led to Rooney's goal, and now Young has scored the second, and it's going to take some comeback now from Tottenham. Adebayor chases, and Adebayor feeds Lennon. Can Spurs respond immediately? Lennon now approaches the penalty area. Still Lennon tricks the fullback. In comes the cross. Oh, great header from Evans. Asuakoto's stride, though, is going to almost hit the corner flag down this near side. But the important man there was Johnny Evans again.
Definitely. I mean, the shot itself, even if he'd got it on target, there were so many Manchester United players there, you can't say that he would have scored. But to be fair to Tottenham, they've responded well against going 2-0 down, conceding that second goal. And the game's certainly not finished yet.
No, they may be looking back later in the season at this game, Manchester United, as being pivotal for them. 2-0 they lead against Spurs, the Spurs side who have only tasted defeat once at White Hart Lane this season against Manchester City. 2-0 to United. King for Spurs. If they're to get back, they must do something quickly, you feel. Livermore had a very measured first half. Long one now from Spurs towards Adebayor, chested off by Adebayor, but that combination is not really working today, Adebayor and Sahar. Evans has had a terrific game at the back with Ferdinand, and now it's out of play down that far side for a Manchester United throw-in. So let's just see, Giggs has gone into Scholes' position.
Into Scholes' position, yeah. We've got almost like for like in many respects, because he'll hold that, he'll pass it, he'll keep control of the ball when it's right to do so.
17 and a half minutes gone. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 2, and it's been a classic away performance really by Manchester United, in that they've had to get lots of bodies back behind the ball, they've had to withstand some pressure, but they've managed to get the goals right on half-time, and then that one from Ashley Young pretty much on the counter-attack, and Nani did really well on the right-hand side in the build-up for the move. So plenty for Spurs to do here, and Arsenal of course may still feel that they can catch Tottenham in third place if things really do go a bit rocky over the next few weeks, having lost to Arsenal last weekend. And Tottenham now with Kabul to the far side towards Sahar. It was great cut out in the air by Jones, but Spurs have possibilities still. Sandro feeding Modric. They need a really big half an hour or so from Luka Modric now to Tottenham. Lennon nudges the ball off to Walker. Walker with a few step-overs down there for Spurs. Hasn't got the cross in yet. Everest denying him the space. In came the cross, and Carrick slides it to safely. Ashley Young's clearance is charged down, and then I thought, yes, they did. They held back Walker then. Ashley Young, he just held Walker back, and Martin Atkinson got a good sight of it, and he's given Spurs the free kick.
Manchester United bringing everybody back into their own penalty area to defend this free kick,
which is either going to be taken by Modric or Lennon. So 2-0 to Manchester United. Another test for De Gea in the United goal. Kabul at the moment stands in an offside position. Ledley King is there, and here comes Modric with the free kick for Spurs. 2-0 down at White Hart Lane. In comes the kick, very, very deep, very, very high. No chance for anyone in a white shirt. Rooney's there taking care of business, and it's a throw to United by the corner flag over on the right-hand side.
Always disappointing, you know, in particular a player of Modric's ability. It's disappointing when you see a free kick wasted in that fashion.
Well, if Harry Redknapp does take the England job and does go to Euro 2012, the goals against him today have been scored by two players he's probably going to have in his squad, Wayne Rooney and Ashley Young. But at the moment, all Harry Redknapp can think about is this present match, and his team have plenty to do. And it's Walker now for Lennon. Everett's done quite well though against Lennon in this match. Sandro, central midfield. They've missed Scott Parker today. Sandro just holds on to it a little too long, I think. Back to Walker. Tottenham just lacking a few ideas here. Sandro again lifts the ball over Giggs, and Ferdinand is there showing all of his experience, finding touch with his clearance, and it's going to be a Tottenham throw-in. The ball thrown into Livermore. Now Walker. Walker's ball in, and Ferdinand there once more with a header. This time it's a corner.
Yeah, and in open play they brought Rooney back into midfield. They're leaving Welbeck on his own up front. Yes, they've conceded the corner.
Corner kick is taken short as well. Modric with the outside of the foot can only find the head of Ryan Giggs. Asuakoto, good drive, but straight at the goalkeeper. Comfortable save for him. He comes to the edge of his penalty area, thought about launching it long, and now throws to Wayne Rooney, who's playing at right back at the moment. Rooney and Young for Manchester United on 5 Live and World Service, as Ferdinand has to move a bit quicker than he had anticipated there. It wasn't a great ball from Rooney, and Ashley Young now moves inside the Spurs half. Evra on the outside. Evra, has Ferdinand pulled up with an injury?
He's just holding the top of his thigh as well. Whether he has got that injury or not, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll watch that as United build with Giggs. Giggs, the first time he's really had the ball. On to Young, back again to Giggs. Manchester United lead 2-0. 21 and a half minutes gone in the second half. Ferdinand still holding that left thigh, as Graham was saying, but his team have the ball over on the right-hand side, and here's a chance for Nani to take on Asuakoto. Nani shapes to get the ball in and then works it back to Jones. Jones now, ball in, headed on by Young behind. Oh, it's a corner, it's gone off the defender. And it must have been Ledley King, and now Michael Carrick is pointing to the United bench that Rio Ferdinand could have a problem here as he's stretching. They'd have to put Jones, of course, into central defence, and they'd have to bring one of the Brazilian twins on, Fabio or Rafael, probably Rafael at right back. It's a corner kick to Manchester United. Giggs is going to take it. Ferdinand, just for the moment, signals that he's going to be okay, but they may have to make a change in a moment, and that's a blow to them. It's a corner to Manchester United. Rooney trying to lose his marker here and getting manhandled a bit by Sandro. Corner is played back to Nani. Nani takes it towards the corner flag, whips in the cross, travelled a long way. Kabul clears, and here's Alan Green.
Don't forget, 606 lines are open, 0500 909 693. There is so much to talk about tonight, not least the significance of this result at White Hart Lane if it does go the way of the champions. Villas-Boas sacked earlier today as manager of Chelsea. 1-1 in the Tyne-Wear derby, and Fulham beating Wolves 5-0 at Craven Cottage. United on the attack. Evra, the captain, into Ashley Young, scores the second goal, shoots again, 3-0, fabulous goal by Ashley Young. What a goal, what a vital 3 points for the champions.
His whole intention when he received the ball was to turn. You could see what he was going to do, you could see what was going through in his mind, and boy did he do it. He delivered it, he bent it into the top corner. It's 3-0 to Manchester United. What a superb third goal that was.
And 4 players, Manchester United players, immediately go to talk to Sir Alex. You know, fresh instructions for them. Keep going, boys.
Yeah.
Keep going. It's a great win for United.
Oh, excellent. Well, looking at the Tottenham players there, it's going to have to get their heads up and give it a go again. There's no doubt about that.
But the brilliance of Manchester United is that they can puncture you on the counter-attack the way they've just done.
It's excellent, Alan. The thing is this, sometimes they may not be, having the best of the games, but they finish, they score, don't they? That's the biggest thing. They put the ball in the opponent's net.
Looking at the bench for Tottenham, well, he's got Defoe, he's got Cranchar. That's it, really, in terms of changing the way they attack Manchester United. But the game, you feel, is already beyond them. 20 minutes to go. Welbeck on the far side of the field. Plays it back. Doesn't get the return pass from Nani, and it should be cleared by Ledley King. Up towards Adebayor. Stabbed away by Ferdinand. Ferdinand may be okay now. He was certainly clutching his left thigh a few minutes ago. Young, scorer of 2 goals here at White Hart Lane. Back to Carrick. And now to Evans, who's been excellent. To Jones on the far side of the field, the right fullback. Jones, back to Evans. Both those Brazilian fullbacks, by the way, Fabio and Rafael, are warming up on the far side of the field. I mean, it may be that if he's got any kind of problem at all, 3-0 up, you may as well bring Ferdinand off.
Yeah. I think Ferdinand, it may just have been cramp then that he was complaining about. He seems to say he's okay now. But at one stage it looked as if he was in trouble and would have to come off.
Well, Manchester United are certainly okay. They'll move to within 2 points of Manchester City. Yes, the goal difference is still 10 to the advantage of City. But I thought Gary Neville's piece in the Mail on Sunday today was very astute, Graham.
Yeah.
He looked at the closing fixtures for both City and United and came to the conclusion, and I don't think it was a pro-United conclusion necessarily, being Gary Neville. It was just logical. United have an easier run-in. Here's Giggs down the left side. Giggs crosses in towards Rooney, scored the first goal. Rooney does exceptionally well. Oh, he fed it through the legs of Sandro, hoping that Nani would run onto it. Nani didn't, and Friedel clears for Tottenham. Met by Ferdinand. Nice touch by Ferdinand to Carrick. And now Evra. Evra pushed over there by Adebayor, or at least the combination of Adebayor and Lennon, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. And they look somewhat disconsolate, Tottenham.
Yes, they do. They do. I would say that Adebayor has given away a lot of free kicks, and I think Martin Atkinson has been right on every occasion.
19 minutes to go. Ferdinand free kick taken to Young, and now it's with Evra. Back to Ferdinand, totally in control, Manchester United now. Evans to Carrick, centre of his own half. Carrick, good ball forward to Welbeck. back to Giggs. Giggs sweeps it away to the far side. Brilliantly played by Ryan Giggs. Collected by Nani. Rooney still deep. Ball goes to Welbeck instead. Back to Nani. Nani's touch not great, and it's cleared by Tottenham. And Lennon gets away from Giggs. Lennon hits it away to the far side to Zaha. Zaha controls it excellently. Zaha back to Modric, who's been a disappointment in the game. Modric to Livermore. Livermore to the near side. Tottenham right and Lennon. 18 minutes to go. Lennon approaching the United penalty. Allowed to run into it. Shoots over the crossbar with his left foot.
Yeah, there's a little bit of the difference, isn't it? The finish, hacked at it. There's a similar position really to Ashley Young, where he could look up, he got the goal and could have tried bending it into that top corner, but he just really smashed at it and it went way over the bar.
Do you think that Young is improving at Old Trafford?
Oh, yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. He certainly is. And I think that long period out of the game when he was injured as well, I think in one respect that has helped him. It's helped Manchester United as we come into the final part of the season.
Zaha jumps, heads it towards Adebayor, who led with his arm but got away with it. Ball breaks to Lennon. Lennon back towards Adebayor, who jumped into Ferdinand. That's a free kick again against Adebayor. And the only disagreement I would have with Martin Atkinson is the number of fouls given against Adebayor surely mount up and equate to a yellow card.
Yeah, and he has warned him about that once before, and yet he's not done it.
Ferdinand to take the free kick. Halfway inside his own half. Giggs available, but it's played to the left side towards Evra, and Evra drives it forward. Young chases after it. He's got the pace, has he? No, Kabul's getting there first, and Kabul just shepherds the ball behind for a goal kick to Tottenham. You do feel for Friedel. He hasn't had a chance with any of the three goals.
Not at all, no.
Lennon now, still inside his own half. The lines for 606 are open. 0500 909 693. Plenty to talk about this Sunday evening. And I want plenty of callers to keep me warm because it is freezing at White Hart Lane. Modric for Tottenham. Modric into Zaha. Zaha was pushed over by Rooney. It's a free kick to Spurs. And if they're going to get any hope of getting anything out of the game, they've got to score quickly.
They have. But it would be a tremendous comeback if they were to get anything out of this game. There's no doubt about that.
It'd be a comeback of Arsenal proportions from last weekend.
They'll probably not want reminding about that.
I know.
Yeah. What is it? 5-2 down and 3-0 down now.
3-0 down. Tottenham. Free kick. 4 yards outside the United penalty area. To the left of Spurs. Look at it. Modric is going to hit it. About a quarter of an hour to go here at White Hart Lane on 5 Live in the Barclays Premier League. Modric free kick. Flicked in towards Kapul. Punched away by De Gea and lashed away to temporary safety at least by Jones. Bouncing towards the halfway line. Walker's there, and Walker has to play it fully 40-50 yards back to his goalkeeper Brad Friedel. Friedel launches it upfield again. Sandro jumps, beaten in the air by Ferdinand. Ball falls to Tottenham though with Livermore. On to Walker, near side of the field. Spurs right. Livermore sweeps the ball from right to left. That's a good ball from the full back. To the far side to his left back colleague Asu Okoto. 1-2 with Lennon. Back, oh no. Well, he flicked an impossible pass to Lennon there, and it's no chance of him controlling that outside of play for a throw into United.
Complete misunderstanding there, wasn't it? Just no chance at all.
Inside the final 15 minutes, and Manchester United comfortably ahead here, leading by 3-0 at White Hart Lane. The first goal by Rooney, the next two from Ashley Young, and now there's a free kick to the champions. Well, Roberto Mancini, I think was it yesterday in response to a question about the position at the top, we are 2 points clear. And they said, no, you're 5 points clear. No, we're 2 points clear because United will win at Spurs.
Oh, we are.
So it won't come as a shock or not even necessarily a disappointment. He knows that the run-in will decide the title, and it will be between Manchester City and Manchester United. And Mike mentioned the game on the 30th of April, which you'll hear on 5 Live. It's a Monday evening, 8 o'clock kickoff. Manchester City against Manchester United. Tottenham will hope only now for third place. And they know that Arsenal are sniffing at their heels. Just 4 points behind. Same number of games played. Walker plays the cross in towards Adebayor. Beaten in the air by Evans. Evans and Ferdinand have been equal to Adebayor and Saha most of the game. Great control by Welbeck, finding Rooney. There's no one down the left at the moment for Manchester United. Rooney just holds up the play, gets it back to Giggs. Giggs into Nani, and now Carrick. Carrick sweeps it to the left, where Ashley Young's taken up position. Good control by Young. Ever to his left, played to Evra. Evra crosses into the penalty area. Welbeck can't get there before Kabul. It's cleared, but it's breaking back to Manchester United again. Nani, edge of the penalty area. Nani on his right foot to Giggs. Nani again into Welbeck, trying to squeeze a pass through to Giggs once more, but can't quite manage it, and Lennon takes it away for Tottenham. A little over 12 minutes to go. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 3. The timing of that goal just before half-time by Rooney could not have been better. Just deflated any hopes that Tottenham had. Now it's with Walker, their right back, into Livermore. Modric is now in a central midfield position. Livermore ignores him, hits it away towards the left side, towards Lennon. Asuokoto in close proximity. But it's back now to Sandro. Sandro to Livermore again. On to Saha. They're looking towards the United defence. United are just standing up against them. There's nowhere to go for Tottenham. And they've lacked invention today, which is unusual for Harry Redknapp's side.
It is, yeah. No, once Manchester United put those 8 people there, it's now 9 with Rooney dropping back into midfield. They've said to Tottenham, well, come on, what are you going to do? And unfortunately, Tottenham haven't done a great deal against them at all to open them up.
You think, too, of the importance of that save that De Gea made in the second half.
Definitely.
Really brilliant save from a deflected shot. De Gea is definitely growing into the position. The injury to Lindegaard came at a very good time for De Gea.
Yeah.
11 minutes to go. King for Spurs, who are going to make a change shortly. Defoe will be coming on. Too late. Can't really change the outcome now. Another change from Manchester United as well. Nani's coming off, and it's Park who's coming on for Manchester United. That just stiffens things up again.
It does,
and there are 2 alterations for Tottenham. Is it Cranchar and Defoe? Saha goes off, and the other Tottenham player to make way is Sandro. It's too late, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, well, yes, I definitely think so. You never know in football.
No, but 10 minutes aren't
enough. I'm sure it's not.
Not enough for the predicament that they find themselves in. And, you know, Sir Alex is just stepping things up again, bringing Park on.
Definitely.
Throw in to Tottenham, goes to Cranchar. Cranchar might have felt he could have kept his place today, but he was left out. That was out of choice by Harry Redknapp. The other changes are forced on him. Bale feeling unwell overnight, and of course Scott Parker's suspension. Throw into Spurs on the far side. Asuokoto takes it, throws it back to Brad Friedel. Kabul available, so too is Ledley King. Inside the last 10 minutes at White Hart Lane in the Barclays Premier League. Spurs 0, Manchester United 3. Adebayor heads it on in the direction of Defoe, headed away by Ferdinand. Rooney beats Modric, but his header runs straight to Kabul. Kabul now to Walker near side. Walker up to the halfway line, underhits the pass, intercepted by Giggs. Giggs looking to send it through to Welbeck. Certainly plays it in the direction of Danny Welbeck. Welbeck confronted though by Asuokoto. Welbeck takes the ball off the fullback. Well done, Welbeck. Back now to Rooney. Rooney into Carrick. At the moment, you still fancy United to score rather than Tottenham.
You do, yeah.
Now it's with Evans back inside the United half. Onto Jones on the far side of the field. Jones chips it down the right touchline, but Rooney wasn't very happy with what happened there. And Tottenham have possession again. Livermore to Cranchar. Do you want to know the burst of Middle Eastern commentary, television commentary?
Shall we? Yeah, let's have one.
Exactly. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, ball out of play as
Precisely what I thought. Jones on the far side of the field. Back to Evans. And now Rooney inside the centre circle. He's only a young boy. He'll learn to shut up occasionally. Carrick to Welbeck. Ashley Young, of course, on course for a hat-trick. He's furthest forward for Manchester United at the moment. The ball's with Giggs. Giggs plays it back into the United half. Giggs 1-2 with Evans, and then the pass back to De Gea. De Gea's contributed to this mammoth victory for the champions here at White Hart Lane. Ball out of play on the far side of the field. Tottenham haven't really got a clue.
Not at the moment, as I say, and Alex Ferguson, when he's made his substitutions, has literally strengthened up the side in terms of saying, OK, fine, we'll put this in, we'll make it. And when Park comes on, you're going to get completely 100% effort from him.
A lot of empty seats at White Hart Lane now. A lot of Tottenham fans, not unreasonably, have given up hope of any comeback by their team. And, I see this banner on the top tier of the stand to our right. One Love, Harriet Tottenham Hotspur. For how much longer? For how much longer? Of course, they've still got a great opportunity to get a Champions League place next season, and that's the goal for Redknapp and for Daniel Levy. Tottenham losing 3-0 here to Manchester United. Park wins the ball for the champions, finds Jones. Back now to Carrick. Rooney, Carrick again, and Giggs. And this is all too easy for Manchester United. Lovely ball by Giggs to Rooney. Rooney on to Evra. Evra up into the penalty. Crosses early, hoping to find Welbeck. Headed away by Walker. Only to Rooney though. Giggs, Welbeck, just about nudging the ball back sufficiently to find Jones. Jones to Park on the far side of the field. Park, no Nanny, remember, on the pitch anymore. Carrick to Giggs, on to Rooney. Rooney can play anywhere, can't he? I love seeing him as an out-and-out striker, but he's just slotted in the midfield as if he was born to the manor. Back now to Carrick. Rooney again inside the centre circle. Tottenham just can't get the ball. 6.5 minutes to go, and the possession is overwhelmingly Manchester United's. This time it's played back by Jones to De Gea. De Gea flicks the clearance to the near side to Evra. Back to Ferdinand. Ferdinand tried to get it back to the captain, but it rebounded off the knees of Lennon, out of play. And here's another change for Tottenham Hotspur. Lennon's coming off, and who's that coming on? Dos Santos? Well, Lennon...
Is it Danny Rose?
Danny Rose, sorry. Danny Rose is coming on. It's just, it won't make any difference. It won't make any difference. They look... they weren't necessarily second best at half-time, Graham, but I think in the second half...
Oh, they have, definitely. No, you're quite right what you say, Alan. At half-time, they weren't second best. They'd had a good 30-minute spell in that first half. But in this half, it really has been all about Manchester United and their abilities and their capabilities of how to control games.
And you think about the last two results for Tottenham, including this one. Obviously 2-0 up at the Emirates. If they'd held out to half-time, you'd have thought they'd have gone on and won the game. And now they've lost, not just that, but they've lost this one to Manchester United after what has been a great season for Spurs. I think they've been wonderful to watch. Absolutely wonderful to watch, but coming up short in terms of the title itself. Kabul to Livermore, in towards Walker, won well by Welbeck. Welbeck finds Rooney. Rooney holds off Rose's challenge, plays it back to Jones. Rooney again, Jones once more. Inside the last 5 minutes here on 5 Live in the World Service. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 3. Goals from Rooney, and then the second and third from Ashley Young. Evra to Carrick, and on to Young, who would love to score a hat-trick here at White Hart Lane. It's with Giggs on the halfway line to Carrick, on to Young, and they're just passing the ball between Tottenham players and around them, and looking vastly superior at the moment, Manchester United. Rooney again on the halfway line, back to Evra, and Tottenham are just chasing the ball all over the pitch, but getting absolutely nowhere near it. Carrick again to Giggs. Carrick, superb possession football from the champions. Young hits it to Welbeck, but behind Welbeck, and it's going to run out of play for a throw into Tottenham.
I mean, Manchester United, they're keeping the ball as if to say, look, 3-0, we've won the game. We don't need a fourth goal to go and win it. We're just going to keep the ball. You can chase after it. It'll be your job anyhow. You're going to have to find in the last 4 minutes 4 goals to beat us, and that isn't going to happen.
No, it ain't going to happen. There aren't even 4 minutes left to play, though we will have a little bit of added time. 0500 999 693 is the number to ring if you want to take part in 606, which is coming up at the conclusion to this commentary. Park for United, over the halfway line. Plays it to his right to Jones. Back to Carrick. Giggs. And that's wasteful from Giggs. Giving it to Jermaine Defoe. Defoe shoots into the net. Well, De Gea was wrong-footed. Defoe took it really well. It was appalling from Ryan Giggs. Too late really to affect the ultimate outcome, but it's Tottenham 1, Manchester United 3.
Well, the way that Defoe dispatched that, it does beg the question, doesn't it? Would he have been better having him on from the start? Because he literally put that away from, well, I don't know, 18 yards, 17, 18 yards, no problem whatsoever.
De Gea was actually unsighted by the presence of Rio Ferdinand.
Ferdinand, yeah.
So he saw the ball as it flashed past his right hand. Well, it's some consolation for Tottenham. But the 3 points are still going to Manchester United, and they will move to within 2 points of the leaders of the Barclays Premier League, Manchester City. But who knows? Who knows? Tottenham have a little bit of hope. Asso Cotto on the far side of the field. On to Rose. Rose is fouled, and that's going to be a yellow card against Johnny Evans. 2 minutes left for play. The second Tottenham goal now would make it interesting.
It would. I have to say and repeat what both Mike and yourself have said. I've been very impressed with Evans, and it's the first time that I can recollect him playing on the right-hand side of the two centres.
Yes, it's normally Ferdinand and Defoe shoots from 35 yards. Obviously, he gained far too much confidence from the goal he scored a couple of minutes ago, and thinks he can score from anywhere, and he can't. It's high and wide, and it's a goal kick to Manchester United. 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds closer to 6:06, and then an hour after that, a cup of coffee and a bit of warmth. It's been a freezing cold day, Graham. What's going on?
Right through.
What is going on? It's March. Anyway, the champions don't feel the weather today. This is a mammoth victory at White Hart Lane for Manchester United. Jones coming forward. Did the ball deflect off Modric? It did. A minute left of the 90, and a throw in to Manchester United on the far side of the field, just in front of the United bench, and no doubt a smiling Sir Alex Ferguson. He would have expected a really tough game here today, no matter the result for Spurs at Arsenal last weekend. But in the end, it's turned out to be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, once Rooney scored the goal just before half-time, you think, well, there'll be a reaction from Tottenham in the second half. But in effect, Manchester United just killed the game off with, you know, the 2 goals they got. Yes, Tottenham have now got them the one to make it 3-1, but
yeah, I mean, it's almost a cliche, Graham, but you know, in a game of this magnitude, scoring first matters a lot.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
I think Tottenham, you know, having had slightly the better of the first half, had they taken the lead, who knows what scoreline we'd have been facing here at the conclusion of the game. But it's Manchester United who are claiming the win. Park, back to Jones. And now, Evans, we've had the 90 minutes and we've got 3 minutes of added time. De Gea rather slices the clearance out of play on the far side of the field. Going to be a throw into Spurs. Asso got to take it. Cranshaw rushes across to meet the throw in taken by the left back. And now it's with Kabul. Kabul strides forward from the centre circle. Plays it to the right to Walker. Walker, I thought was going to launch the ball into the penalty area immediately, but he delayed, and now when he does play it in, he miscues, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Head down there he was, trying to get the pace, trying to get away from him, but wasn't able to do so.
Goodness, I mean, how many people are still left inside White Hart Lane? Less than half, I would say. Obviously the full Manchester United contingent, but over half of the Tottenham fans have already made their way home. De Gea with a goal kick. 2 minutes of added time remaining here on 5 Live in the World Service on the BBC. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 3. Ball is back with Friedel. Friedel is yet to play in the Champions League. That's his one remaining ambition, and hopefully it will come for him next season in the colours of Tottenham Hotspur. Here's Adebayor though, into the penalty. Adebayor, tackled by Ferdinand. Adebayor goes down, doesn't get a penalty kick though. I think it was a fair enough challenge by Rio Ferdinand, and it's cleared by Manchester United temporarily. Asso Cotto then swings the cross in from the left, headed away by Ferdinand. Modric brings it down, no room for the shot. Modric passes to the right to Cranshaw, a yard outside the penalty area, into Defoe, score of the Spurs goal. Cranshaw wide to the right side, and Walker's cross in towards Adebayor. Good header away by Jones. Parker tries to run it clear, runs into Asuakoto. Then it goes to Rose on the left side. Rose, great cross in, and Defoe was offside. Wouldn't have mattered if he'd made proper contact with the ball and put it in the net, as he should have done. Yeah. He was offside.
But he was lively in that box again. Offside position certainly, but very, very lively.
Well, they've been bright for the last few minutes, but they've been the only few minutes in the second half for Tottenham, really. De Gea, no rush to take this goal kick. Who's tying his bootlaces? Johnny Evans. He's had an excellent game.
He's played very well. You know, sometimes it's just moving over that one position. It can have an effect from there. A lot of people think, well, you know, he's centre-back, does it matter which side you play? But he's certainly played very well today on that right-hand side.
De Gea's free kick, driven, as it has been for most of the game, towards the right side, whether it's a goal kick or a free kick. The United goalkeeper plays it to the right. It was for Nani earlier, now it's for Park, and there's another free kick for Tottenham. But we've had our 3 minutes of added time, and I suspect when the free kick is actually played forward, the referee Martin Atkinson, who's had a good game, will blow his whistle. But Cranshaw plays the ball into the United penalty area. Rooney heads it away, and it's behind for corner. Corner to Tottenham.
Just looked at his watch.
Kabul is about to take it. From the right, here it comes, in towards the near post. He may as well not have bothered. There's the final whistle as well, but cleared on the volley. What an important win for the champions.
It's not only an important win, it was a very good win. One has to credit Manchester United with the way they've approached this game, with how they've handled it, and they leave the pitch worthy winners. Tottenham certainly gave them a game. In the first half, I thought for 30 minutes Tottenham were the better side. They were coming forward but didn't get many shots in. But Manchester United, from the moment that Wayne Rooney got the header in from the corner a minute before half-time, really dictated this game.
6:06 coming up. Final scoreline here at White Hart Lane. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester United 3.
Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Graham, just one final question before you go. What, in your eyes, is the difference between Spurs, who seem to have most of the play in this game, and Manchester United, who just looked lethal, didn't they?
They were. I think Manchester United, led by their manager, one has to say this, all the experience that Sir Alex Ferguson has had and has got. It's the same with a number of players out there. They're far more experienced than the Tottenham players. And basically they do know how to win games, how to keep possession of the ball and yet have an end product to it. And then those periods of the game when you keep possession of the ball and you don't necessarily have an end product, you're just keeping the ball. And they have that great ability. And of course what they do have in Wayne Rooney, particularly with Welbeck coming as well, but they have a goal scorer. And that is all, you know, a regular goal scorer. That's why, to a degree, I have to say, I was a little bit surprised to see the absence of Defoe. I know there was the two big men to start with, but I think the way that Defoe put the ball in the net, it might have had a deflection, it might not, but his first attempt, you know, I'll have a shot. And I think Tottenham, even when they had that half hour in the first half, they didn't have enough shots to justify the greater possession of the ball.
Graham, thank you very much for your company today. Graham Taylor alongside Alan Green and Mike Ingham. This is Ian Payne at very wintry, as Alan was saying, White Hart Lane, but it's certainly been very, very red and warm for Manchester United and their travelling fans today. They closed to within 2 points of Manchester City, and never has a Premier League had two clubs with this many points at this stage of the season. Manchester United, whoever the challenger, no matter how much money they have, how good the football they play, they are always there or thereabouts. Let me remind you of a couple of things that are coming up on Monday. It's the Monday Night Club, of course, tomorrow evening. Tuesday, Birmingham-Chelsea in the FA Cup. Chelsea with a new manager now. On Wednesday, Spurs against Stevenage in the FA Cup back here. On Thursday, it's Europa League night. And also from 6:30 on Sports Extra, you can hear the British Swimming Championships. And also, just to tell you that in the Aviva Premiership, this is the Rugby Union, of course, big win for Leicester against Gloucester today. Nearly half-time, Saracens leading Northampton by 9 points to 6. If you want to see all the highlights from all the games today in the Premier League, so much to talk about. Match of the Day 2, 10 o'clock, BBC 2, and that'll be followed at 11:25 by that amazing QPR behind-the-scenes documentary. I'll be with you next Sunday from midday. This is Ian Payne saying thank you very much for listening. 6:06 is next with Alan. Lines are open 0500 909 693, and that will follow the 5 Live News with Faye Rusco.